Hello, friends. Good evening, good morning. Today I'm going to talk about three retail experiences I had recently from three different vendors, three different kinds of vendors. The first experience is with a online app. This app sells food items. You can go and locate a restaurant and you can say what food item you want, and then they deliver the food item to you. So I ordered a cake using this app and it was delivered on time. The cake was fantastic, very tasty. We enjoyed it. So it was a great experience as far as the product is concerned. But there was a small catch. While I ordered the cake, there was a offer in the app which said if I order above a certain amount, I will get 10% cashback. So that means if the minimum order value is 150 rupees and I ordered for 500 rupees, I'm supposed to get 10% back, which is 50 rupees. That's what the offer is all about. So I read the offer. It was a good offer and I went for it, and then I placed the order and I got the cake and everything was good. But the cashback was not credited in my account. Usually these things take 2-3 days time, so I didn't really worry about it. So I left it. So I left it for 2-3 days. In fact, I totally forgot about that order. So after a few days, I suddenly remembered, hey, I was supposed to get this 10% cashback with this particular app. Let me go back and check it. So when I went and checked, there was no cashback credited even after some 4-5 days. So I went to the call center number which was provided. I called them and then I said, hey, I'm supposed to get some cashback and I didn't get it. Or when will I get it? So they said, we will check it. Please email it to so-and-so mail address. So they gave a mail address. So I wrote to that mail address. I sent my order number. I gave a screenshot of my order and all those things I did. And they took some 2-3 days time, and then they came back and said that we regret to say that you are not eligible for this order. So I didn't feel like, it was a small cashback, and I didn't really feel like fighting with them because I know I saw the order, I know I saw the offer, the terms were very clear, and I was placing an order which is above the minimum order limit, and all those were true. So I knew that I'm eligible for that order, but it was a small amount, so I just left it. So that's the first experience. I'm purposefully not mentioning the name of the app because it can be Swiggy, it can be Zomato, it can be something else. The app doesn't matter. It's an experience that matters. My intention is not to say this app is bad or that app is good and stuff like that. There was an experience like this, and this is what happened. That's experience number one. Now coming to the second experience. This was with a ice cream maker. So unlike the first vendor with whom I placed the cake order, this ice cream vendor is not a very big shop. They don't have an app by itself. They had some website, but they actually take orders through phone calls and WhatsApp and stuff like that. So we had a party, and then somebody suggested, hey, this guy makes great ice cream, so why don't you place an order with them? So I called that number and I spoke to that person, and that person gave all the details, and then I went through that, and then I finally chose some particular type of ice cream, 5 kgs or something like that, and then they took the order. They gave me a bank account detail. They gave their bank account details. I went ahead and made my payment, and then everything went through smoothly. So order is placed, they confirm the order on the day of the party. A couple of hours before the party, the order arrived, but when I opened the order, surprise, I asked for a particular kind of ice cream, and what they delivered was a different kind. So let's say I ordered chocolate and I got strawberry, something like that. So I was naturally upset because I went through a process of selection of a particular type of ice cream, and then they have served something else. They have sent something else. But unfortunately, the party is a couple of hours from now, and then sending it back and then getting the new. It's not like 1 pack or 2 packs, right? It's 5 kg, a lot of ice cream. So sending it back, getting it back, and ice cream is something which is not easy to transport also. So considering all of them, I decided to take it, even though it's not my mistake. So I called that person and I told that, hey, guess what? I placed an order for X flavor of ice cream, but you have actually sent Y flavor. So yeah, it's okay, fine. I'll take it. I'll use it. But next time, please make sure that you take the order properly and only deliver what the customer is asking for, and not something that you like. So this is where the fun part starts. That person replied and saying, "Sir, that Y flavor that we have sent you costs 12 rupees extra per kg. So for 5 kgs, it is 60 rupees. Can you send that 60 rupees amount to me?" It was really funny. First of all, I expected a sorry, a two-syllable sorry from that person, because I ordered X and they sent Y. In my place, another customer could have shouted at them and sent back the ice cream, or refused to pay or demand a refund or whatever it is. But I was actually very decent, calling them and explaining to them that they have made a mistake, and I'm still not blaming them, and I'll take the ice cream considering all the issues in transportation and all those things. And then, without apologizing, they asked for that 60 rupees money. I paid 60 rupees very next minute. Okay, it's not the matter of 60 rupees. I didn't try to steal 60 rupees from them. In fact, I didn't know that Y is little expensive than X, and by mistake they have sent a more expensive one. I didn't want them to face any losses, so I paid that 60 rupees. But the funny thing is, for them, it didn't even occur that they have made a mistake and a customer might be upset, and first they should apologize for the error they have done and then ask for that extra amount, whatever it is. It didn't occur to them. That's okay. Again, a small amount, not a big deal. I paid it and the party went well. Ice cream was fantastic. That's what is more important. So that's my second experience. The third experience, which is very, very interesting. I went to a small grocery shop, some 1.5 kilometers from my home. So I went by walk. I wanted to buy 2 kgs of rice, and just walk back. So I just walk. I went there without a bag in hand. This is important because the whole experience revolves around this. So I went there and I asked them, "Hey, XYZ brand, XYZ brand rice. I want 2 kgs." So I said, two 1 kg packets. That is because I don't have a bag in hand, so I'm going to carry it in my hand. So I prefer to carry 2 bags in both hands than 4 packets of half kg. So I specifically said I want 2 packets of 1 kg each. So that guy went inside. It's a small shop, so he had to search for that particular brand of rice in many shelves and all. Finally, he found it and he came back with 4 packets of half kg each. So the quantity is exactly what I asked for, 2 kg. But it was 4 packets. So my face I just got a bit irritated. I didn't really say anything. Just there was a change in my facial expression. That's all. The shop owner immediately spotted it, sensed that something has gone wrong, and said, "Sir, what's the problem?" So I said, "I wanted 2 1 kg packets." So he said, "Oh, sorry. Let me go and change it." I said, "It's okay. You have to go and search for it. It's okay. It's a little inconvenient to me to carry 4 packets instead of 2 packets, but still, it's okay. I'll carry it." I said, No, sir. I'll set it right." So he went inside, once again searched, spent almost the same amount of time to locate the 1 kg packet, came back and then gave me the 2 1 kg packets. So I paid for it and then I came home. Now, if you consider these 3 examples, they are like 3 different kinds of retail experiences themselves. First one is with the app, a very big multi-million dollar app. Second one is with a it's not as big as the first one, but not as small as the third one, but somewhere in the middle. They are making some probably some 100-200 kgs of ice cream every day and then selling it through guided selling through WhatsApp phone and all those. And the third person is a very small shop owner in one corner. But when you look at the retail experience these 3 gave me, the first person, when they made a mistake, they almost didn't give me any way to set it right. And even when I tried to talk to them, a natural conversation didn't happen. In the second case, there was a natural conversation, there was a guided selling, but I didn't have a great experience because of a mistake done by them, and they didn't do anything great to set it right. In the third case, there was a tiny error done by them, but they immediately spotted it with my facial expression and then they set it right. So now, If I go and tell this story to the owners of the first app or the second store, they'll say, hey Naga, you're being unfair. The third store naturally had an advantage because you were in front of them. They could see you, they could look at your facial expressions, they could correct the problems very quickly. Whereas we were at a disadvantage. We were behind an app, we were behind a WhatsApp or a phone call or something like that, which gave that gap. That gap created a bad experience for you. We are not at fault. It looks logical, it sounds logical, but when you think about it, it is very clear that they will simply be hiding behind their systems. Okay, as a customer, it is not me who is asking them to go for an app. It's not me who is asking them to go for a fancy call center. It's not me who is asking them to put a email system. It's not me who is asking somebody to sit behind WhatsApp and then manage hundreds of customers in a day. Those decisions are their business decisions. Just because they have made that business decision, it doesn't mean they can hide behind that system and then distance themselves from the customer. This is something which is very important. If you observe carefully, in all three cases, there was a possibility to set things right, right? In the first case, I contacted them, I sent all the details like order number, screenshot, and all those things. So there was a possibility of them looking at that data objectively and then giving me a good experience. They didn't use it. In the second case, there was a possibility of that ice cream maker setting things right. Probably they could have apologized. Very simple thing. One small sorry would have given me tremendous satisfaction because somebody has realized they have made a mistake and then they are willing to avoid it going forward. So they could have done that. They could have avoided talking about that 12 rupees extra that I have to pay for their mistake. They could have avoided that. Or they could have called me the next day and said that, hey sir, we understand that something went wrong yesterday. You placed an order for X and Y reached you. We are really sorry for that. We will make sure that this will not happen in future for other customers. Thanks a lot for your patience. Something like that would have really made me happy. So opportunity was always there, irrespective of what is the system that you are following. The opportunities are always there. End of the day, what matters is whether you are considering that customer relationship as important or not. That's what matters. So a fancy call center may not make the customer happy. Okay, I'm not saying the company is always at the fault and they have to always rectify it, and then the response should always be in the favor of the customer. But just because there is a system in place, just because for scale you are adopting an app or you're using a slightly different, slightly non-personal way of selling, it doesn't mean you can ignore customer relationships. Customer relationship is very important. See, 10 years down the line, I may not remember the taste of the cake or the ice cream that I had. I may not remember how much money I paid, but I will remember how you made me feel on that day. I will never forget it, whether it is 10 years or 20 years. So end of the day, that's what matters than the system. Just because there is a system in place, it doesn't mean we can distance ourselves from the customer. Warren Buffett talks about a moat. So he says a company needs to have something very unique, very advantageous, which distances it from all its competitors. For example, if there is a drink, a cold drink, which has amazing name recognition, or people always tag happiness with it and stuff like that, automatically all its competitors are distanced from it, and that gap is good for that company. If you widen that gap more and more, the company prospers because all the competitors are going away, and then they are kind of becoming the king of that particular category. Same way, this particular distance, the distance that you keep with your customer, is something which can negatively impact your company. So if that distance is small, irrespective of the system, whatever is the system you use, if you can keep that distance small and keep the customer at the center of all your interactions and make sure that you understand things from the customer's perspective and do the right thing to the customer, then it doesn't matter whether you use an app or whether you use a phone or whether you use WhatsApp or whether you walk door to door, or whether you have a store into which people walk. It doesn't matter. System doesn't matter. System is just an enabler. If you keep customer relationship at the center, then irrespective of the system, you will make sure that you are not distanced from the customer, and you are always making sure that the customer has great experience, and that will bring the customer again and again to your shop or your organization. So don't hide behind your systems. Remember that systems are only enablers. If systems create distance between you and your customers, that's the first thing that you need to fix. What do you think about my experiences and the way these three retailers reacted to it? Share your comments. Thank you.